Hey, what's up, guys? So today I'm going to talk to you about why you absolutely need a Toyota Prius. Like, if you're trying to get to a point to where you're financially independent, this is going to be the car that's going to help you get there. And I know it's not the most attractive car. Some would go as far to say it kind of looks like an egg, and it's not the fastest car. But I'm going to tell you why you need a Toyota Prius. We're going to go over the vehicle specifications, the price range for these cars, your average monthly savings you're going to get in the car, as well as some extra saving tips I found, and then maintenance and personal recommendations on how to keep this car more effective. So vehicle specifications are for the second gen Prius. I just feel like this is the best Prius out of the models that are released, mainly because it tends to last a lot longer than the other models, and the parts for it are really hard. I mean, really easy to find. So it is a four-door compact car, so you can fit your friends and family inside the car. It seats up to five people. Actually, a pretty roomy car. I was very surprised the first time I got inside of one. It had lots of space. You also have a pretty large trunk space, so it's about 14.4 cubic feet back there. I mean, you could literally store tons of groceries or extra items if needed. And the back seats in the car actually fold down. So if you have to move larger objects, you can move larger objects using the trunk. The car itself is a hybrid. Um, it's interesting how this caught a lot of people by surprise. I guess my friends and family thought it was a plug-in. No, so it's a hybrid. It uses electric and gas, so it doesn't actually have to be plugged in. The car charges itself on its own whenever you're going downhill or whenever you're using the brakes. It'll start to charge the electric battery. So the way it's so gas efficient is it uses the electricity and the gas in the car, which boosts its mile per gallon. So its average mile per gallon is about 48 miles per gallon in the city and 45 miles per gallon on the highway. So this is actually a really, really high mile per gallon compared to most vehicles. Especially you think about the average person in their 20s, they're probably trying to get like a BMW, Beamer, or some sort of other like really fast, cheap car, maybe a Mustang, and those cars will only get like 12 to 18 miles per gallon depending on how you're driving them, which is absolutely going to burn a hole in your pocket. So the price range is also really affordable for these vehicles. The average price for a used 2004 to 2009 Prius is around $3,000 to $5,000. So that's actually really affordable, especially compared to if you're trying to get like a new car, you're going to be paying about like 22,000 to $24,000, and you're going to be paying interest on that. It depends on how long you want to pay it, and that can go upward. I mean, the overall cost in paying for some of those cars could be up to like 28 to $32,000 after interest. So that's a very expensive. That's over 10 times. I mean, 8 to 10 times the price of what a second gen Prius goes for. So it's pretty easy to save up for this car, especially if you're working one of your first jobs. If you're making like maybe $1,200 every couple weeks, working like minimum wage, you can put a good half of that away for yourself and save up toward your car and get your car in about like half a year. So yeah, it's easily affordable. Even if you're working a part-time job, you can just put a little bit aside and buy this car. And there's also plenty of these cars available. And you will see some of them with high mileage, but this just goes to show that this car can last. One of my Priuses that I have, I purchased it at 300,000 miles, and it's around like 400,000 now, and I've only had to do a couple repairs. So these cars are just tanks. Like they hardly break down from my experience. I have a couple of Priuses myself, and yeah, they can be purchased almost anywhere. I've bought some off OfferUp, some off mutual friends. So it's a pretty easy car to find. So you can get quite a bit of monthly savings using this car. So on average, like the common working person commutes about 15 miles to work and home. So about like 30 miles daily, and that's if you're like local to your job. But I mean, it could be much more. And, you could kind of figure you doing the math yourself. So assuming that person's working full time, which a lot of us are right now, especially if you're trying to get financially independent, you're most likely trying to work 5 days a week. So you figure you multiply 5 times 30, the average is 30 miles. That's over 150 miles a week, and 600 miles each month. So yeah, 600 miles is quite a lot of miles. It adds up over time, and that's just the average. I mean, me personally, I commute over like 60 miles to work, so it's definitely different for me. Um, I stay in California, so prices are a little higher. Of course, you can calculate using the average gas price in your area. I always use just like the unleaded gas. I don't use the expensive stuff. So the average cost of gas in California as of December 2021 is $4.65 a gallon. So it's pretty high right now. The gas. Hoping it doesn't go to $5, man. It is up there right now. So you might ask yourself, like, how do the monthly savings break down? How does this add up, and how does this compare to your average gas guzzler? And I'm going to go over that too. So what I built here is a comparison chart, so you can see the difference between a Toyota Prius in terms of monthly costs, as well as the cost for gas per the Ford Mustang. I'm kind of going based off like the same year model too. So a Toyota Prius on average is going to get 48 gallon city, 45 miles per gallon on the highway. So the average is about 46.5 miles per gallon. You figure if you take 600 miles divided by 46.5 miles per gallon, it adds up to about 12.9 gallons that you're gonna. I'm sorry, 12.9 miles per gallon that you're gonna get. And let me just double check that here. My bad. No, it's 12.9 gallons that you're gonna use every 600 miles. There you go. My apologies. And you're gonna multiply by the average gas price, which is $4.65. So that's gonna be a total of about $60 every month for gas. Yeah, I know some of you are looking at that $60 a month per gas, and you're probably thinking like, "Dang, my truck uses that much in one fill up." Yeah, so that's like the average right there. So you figure you're keeping your gas price down to $60 over 12 months. That's $720 a year. That's barely anything for gas. I know some people who probably spend that in like 3 months on gas. And then the Ford Mustang, which doesn't have the most efficient mile per gallon. So it's 26 miles per gallon in the city, 17 miles per gallon on the highway. So an average of about 21.5 miles per gallon. You take 600 miles divided by the mile per gallon. That's going to use about 27.9 gallons a month. And if you multiply it by the average gas price, which is $4.65 a month, that's $130 every month. So you've pretty much doubled the price and some. And this is just one comparison of a gas guzzler. I mean, if you have a big truck, and you could be downwards of like 12 or 13 miles per gallon, where you're looking at average monthly cost of about like 190 to 200. Or if you're using like a Beamer, that's also very expensive in gas. So, guys, I know we want these fast, flashy cars sometimes, but, it's not always worth it. It's going to cost you a little bit. So $130 over the 12-month period is going to add up to about $1,560. So it's quite the difference. That's money that you can put toward more investments. So that's quite a bit of money. So, the way we did for this comparison here, it's over 600 miles at $4.65 a gallon, as well as the annual cost comparison. So, if the gas price is going for a different price in your area, you can just substitute that number 465, or also depending on what car you have, you can kind of compare the two and see. The Prius pretty much almost destroys any other car mile per gallon unless you have an electric car, but those tend to be a little more expensive, so you might want to double think on those. So a great way I found to save extra money on my gas. So yeah, you might think I'm already saving money a mile per gallon, but there's also extra ways to get a better deal. So I have a screenshot here on the right hand side showing an app I use called the Gas Buddy app. It's super efficient. It helps you locate like the cheapest gas stations. So as you can see here, the gas station that I use, it's showing me a gas station that's about like 30 minutes out from my drive. I pass by this on my way to work, and not only is it looking at a price better than the average price right now. So the original price you see there is $4.27 a month, but it also activates an extra discount on top of there, which I get pretty much daily. So the way Gas Buddy works is it connects to your debit card. They pretty much send you like another card, and you have to create a PIN code for that card, and it's used primarily for gas. And whenever you activate that discount and you use your card, it offers you those deal alerts. So you can see I get 25 cents off on my deal alert right there. So I'm getting gas for only $4.02 per gallon. The best part about it is it doesn't require a subscription. It's completely free to use. You don't have to pay anything for it. And it just saves you extra money. It helps you locate the best price gas in your area. So depending on where you're at, like even if you're traveling, you can use the app. It will track your location if you turn it on, of course, and show you the best prices. And then if you also, I don't do this too much, but you can also do it if you use the app. You can report the gas price at the station that you're at. It's fairly easy to do. You just tap the prices to confirm that those are accurate, and it gives you points that you can use on like a daily giveaway they have for gas gift cards. So I guess that's extra money. I haven't won one personally, but I don't do it too much just because if I'm on my way to work, I'm not really trying to do that. Yeah, and then we already talked about the gas card being protected by a PIN code. So if you misplace your card and somebody gets it, no worries. You can get a replacement card. And if somebody thinks they're going to try to use it, they're going to need your PIN code. Most likely, they're not going to have that PIN code. So as you can see in this example, I'm saving about 63 cents a gallon from the average gas price in California. And what this does is it decreases my annual gas cost from about $7.20 down to $6.20. So I'm saving an extra $100, which is just a significant difference. You can use this even if you're not using the most efficient car right now on your way to getting your Prius. So in terms of maintenance for the car, and I actually really love doing maintenance on my Prius, mainly because it's super easy. So one thing I noticed is the parts for the car are extremely cheap, like really cheap. I recommend. You could use Rock Auto. Rock Auto is good, a little expensive, but I've even found parts for my car on Amazon that worked better than the parts I use on Rock Auto. So, for example, I had the inverter pump, or what's called the water pump, go out on one of my cars. And, it's really easy to replace too. It took me like 30 minutes to replace it. And the part itself, when I paid it for on Rock Auto, was like $100. And I literally found the exact same part on Amazon listed for $30. And that part actually lasted me longer than it's still lasting me now. Actually, over the Rock Auto part. So yeah, you can get parts pretty cheap on Amazon. You can even buy in bulk sometimes if it's a really affordable part, and have those in your garage just in case you have to fix the car and do repairs. The oil change cost is inexpensive. It's 5W30 oil, and just make sure you're going to the right people. A lot of shops will try to overcharge you, saying that your car uses synthetic oil and it's going to cost you $100. You don't need to pay all that. If you're going to an oil change shop, maybe like 40, $50 is more reasonable. The parts are also very easy to find in store and online. So if you don't want to wait for the shipping costs and you need the part urgently, you can check out your local AutoZone or O'Reilly's. I found lots of parts that I need for my car still on the shelves over there. And like I was saying, most of the repairs can be done pretty easy without the help of a mechanic. I literally just YouTube how to do certain repairs on my car, and there's tons of information for these cars on how to repair them. It's very, very easy. The only part I don't recommend trying to fix on your own is the hybrid battery if it goes out. I would highly recommend taking that to a shop to get repaired. And surprisingly, even the hybrid battery repair wasn't very expensive. I had a hybrid battery go out in one of my cars, and it only cost me $600 to get a replacement battery with the warranty, as well as it working fine. I've been using it for over a year now and haven't had no problems with that one. And then lastly, I have some recommendations here. Things that I would recommend doing that just make it easier, ownership of your car easier, and just maintain the car easier. These are some things that I didn't do initially, and I kind of had to find out the hard way. So the first one is do your own oil changes. And this is something that's really easy to do. It sounds more complicated if you've never done it, or if you've done it one time. It takes a little bit of time the first time, but once you get it down, it gets really easy. The equipment, it could cost about $120 to $150 altogether, but it cuts the price down. Like the average cost for you to do oil change, like $15 per each oil change, which is barely anything. And I'm talking about if you buy your parts if you buy like a hydraulic jack, your jack stands, a oil pan, like an oil rag, as well as a tool to remove the oil filter and the oil filter itself. You can cut your cost down to about $15, and it'll cost you about $120 to $150 for all that equipment. You can also buy the equipment used. I had actually bought one of my jack stands on OfferUp. For the original jack stand, I paid like $40 for it, but on OfferUp, I got it for like $20, that same exact part. So that was a steal. Recommend checking that out. And another reason I recommend doing it on your own is because, like I was saying earlier, a lot of oil change places will try to charge you extra because your car uses synthetic oil. They'll make it seem like it's a big thing. They're literally doing the same work and trying to charge you 3 times as much. It's really dumb. And then highly recommend to change the oil every 10,000 miles. This is a huge one that you absolutely have to do. If you're not changing your oil, you're at risk of blowing your engine. And I've actually done it before when I was younger. I didn't do an oil change in my car for I don't know how long, and I blew an engine. And let me tell you, I was a good $6,000 car that went right down the drain. So oil changes, very important. If you don't have the time and you're in a pickle, just take it to a shop really quick. That $60 oil change is a lot less than replacing your engine on your car. Trust me. And then whenever you're doing your oil change, I recommend every so often to use motor cleaner or engine flush. So pretty much you can find it at AutoZone or even online, where you pour it inside of the oil canister in case it before you do your oil change, you do it and then you run your motor. So it pretty much cleans out any extra gunk in your engine, making sure it's staying as efficient as possible. And it just keeps your car, it keeps the mile per gallon up on your car, mainly because you have a cleaner motor. And then the next one I highly recommend: keep a AAA membership active in case of emergencies. So I can't tell you how many times AAA has helped me out, and not even just for if a car breaks down, but if you ever get locked out of your car, which can happen to even with the Prius, especially if your key fob battery dies and you get locked out of your car, you can have them even open up the door for you. So this has significantly cut down the cost. Like whenever my car is broken down or any roadside assistance. For me personally, I bundled my AAA membership with the insurance from my 2 Toyota Prius cars, and it only cost me literally only $150 a month for 2 cars and my AAA membership. And I know there's some people that are paying that amount just for 1 car and no membership. So highly recommend checking that out. It's a real peace of mind. You can get towing if your car breaks down and not pay an arm and a leg. I had to pay for a tow truck before in the past. Let me tell you, it gets very expensive. And even just getting locked out of your car, if you don't want to be waiting forever, you can just call AAA and they'll open your door for you if you've done that. I've done it a few times. Um, and then lastly, keep a set of extra equipment for emergencies, like a spare tire, jumper cables, a battery charger in case you leave the lights on, and a portable air pump, like the ones that you can plug into your cigarette lighter. If you get like a tire that's getting low and you're on a long road trip, those are really helpful, especially if you don't know when the next air pump is going to be at. Those are super helpful. You can easily store these in your trunk for emergencies. So that's about it, guys. That's everything I recommend doing. And this car is just it's a really easy car to maintain. It saved me lots of money. People like my friends and family ask how I have extra money. It's because I drive this car. I've been driving these cars for over 3 years. I absolutely love it. They're comfortable, they're cheap, and they're super efficient. So yeah, if you guys are looking to get into financial independence, this is a great car to help you get there. And yeah, get one.